Hello, my name is Sandra Davis, and I am a multidisciplined artist. Multidisciplined artist means I create with paints, fabric, I used found items and objects, I paint on plates, I paint on tabletops, I do a little bit of everything. As an African American female growing up in a predominantly black community, it was imperative that we used what was around us to create beauty. And so, recipient of hand-me-downs, recipient of finding items discarded on the street to create something new was a regular part of our weekly, daily activity. I come from a family of 8, 5 girls. So hand-me-downs were a regular part of how we adorned ourselves. So it may have taken a nip or a tuck, adding a button or a zipper to make sure that that item became mine or became the individual who was receiving the hand-me-down item. I know when you look at growing up in that type of community, recycling or upcycling was something that you did all the time. And it wasn't because it was trendy, it was because it was necessary. And I know as I've grown into being an artist for over 30 plus years, I probably picked up a crayon or pencil as a little girl and haven't stopped since. I know working full time, I do not work full time as an artist, I actually work for a bank. And I'm extremely grateful for that job because it helps to support my family along with my art practice. For me, for my second career, I do want to practice my art 100% of the time. And receiving a grant from Joanne's Fabrics would actually allow me to get started earlier than later. Part of my practice is to include community, include others who would not have access to art. You know, they may have never gone to a museum or a gallery, and being able to include those community members and organizations by bringing art to them is extremely important to me. I like to use the word inclusivity, and so just as I use and include all sorts of objects, items, fabric, paint, and other materials into my art, I also want to bring those same opportunities to others. And maybe going into a women's shelter where we've done a quilt project. It could possibly be a school or children's club or organization. Always making sure that we include others who may not have access is critical. It builds community, it builds camaraderie, and it bridges gaps that maybe someone else has not necessarily recognized. By receiving the grant from Joanne's Fabrics, it'll allow me to create those projects. It will allow me to have the funding. And so all I need to do, select the organization, select the time frame that the project will happen, because Joanne's going to help fuel the materials. And I know there's been many obstacles being able to continue my practice as an artist because you don't necessarily always have the time. And because I don't derive my income from my art, I have to have a full-time job. And so, like I said before, it's a goal and a dream to be able to practice 100% of the time as an artist and make sure that I always bring that art and that creativity side to others who may not have access. So I really appreciate the opportunity to apply for this grant, and I thank you all for your time.